All right. Wow. Florida's wealthy are fleeing. Rising living costs are to blame. So Florida, normally high income earners, people retiring would move there because there's no income tax. And now they're seeing a record outflows as house prices have gone up, insurance costs have gone up, and property costs have eroded its appeal. Also, I did a post about people struggling in finances the most, and Florida and Texas are number 1 and number 2. They're having the hardest time paying their bills. They have the highest credit card delinquency, auto loan delinquency, and all kinds of things. So people in Florida and Texas are struggling.
Florida Trump voters are losing it, and honestly, can you blame them? Rent up 85%, eggs up 135%, insurance premiums through the roof, and the guy they voted for is out here calling groceries an old-fashioned word. Like, it's cute. We're talking real people working 2 jobs just to survive in the Sunshine State, while MAGA cheerleaders keep clapping for policies that are literally picking their pockets clean. Welcome back to Mind Mirror. Let's get into it.
Cost of living in Florida isn't just rising, it is skyrocketing. New data shows prices are climbing at nearly 5 times the pace of the last decade, fueled by soaring housing costs, insurance rates, and rent that is leaving wages far behind.
As News4Jack's consumer reporter Tiffany Salome explains, for many Floridians, the squeeze is so severe, they're now weighing whether they can afford to stay.
Everything is extremely high, groceries, gas, housing, everything. I'm working 2 jobs and it's still barely scraping by.
It is rough right now, especially with the economy, with gas prices. Gotta work basically 2 jobs.
It's not hard to find people impacted by the cost of living here in Florida. You just heard from 2 people we happened across today that both say they're working 2 jobs to make ends meet.
2 jobs to get by. I mean, do you think that should be the normal?
Definitely not. I'm working more than I'm living, also going to school. Have no time to actually enjoy life.
The cost of living in Florida has accelerated at nearly 5 times the pace of the...
You just said something that hit different right there. Working more than I'm living. That's not a cost of living crisis. That's a quality of life crisis. 2 jobs, school, no breathing room. This is what they sold people when they said, make America great again. Great for WHO exactly, because this woman is running on fumes just to exist in Florida. And here's what kills me. The MAGA crowd keeps saying, just work harder. Like she's not already maxed out. You can't hustle your way out of a broken system. That's not laziness. That's math. When your wages stay flat and rent doubles, no amount of grinding fixes that gap.
Last decade. That's according to a new report from Florida Tax Watch, a nonpartisan, nonprofit government watchdog group. It's driven largely by housing, insurance, and rent increases that are outstripping wages.
Rent is definitely going up, and landlords, everybody, they don't want to hear anything because, they've got to take care of their families also.
I've noticed my bills, water bill, electricity bill has gone up for sure.
Homeowners are facing some of the highest insurance costs in the nation. Average annual property insurance premiums reached $2,794 through 2025, which is up 63% since 2020. And renters are also under pressure. Florida's average rent climbed from about $1,200 in 2015 to $2,200 in 2025, an 85% increase over the decade. Now let's talk about everyday essentials creeping up. Some alarming statistics from that report to note. Eggs have surged 135% over the past decade. Rice prices are up 46%. And bread has increased by 30%.
Family of 4's you gotta budget everything. Budget your food, budget everything for the week. It's getting bad. It's getting real bad.
Reporting, Tiffany Salome, Channel 4, the local station.
Researchers warn what happens next will depend on decisions made in Washington and here at home, especially when it comes to housing, insurance, and tax policy. Without action, they say the gap between what people earn and what it costs to live here will only keep growing, potentially changing who can afford to call Florida home.
What do you think about gas prices, Mother?
I don't have a problem with gas prices.
So you're fine with them being high as long as it's under Trump?
No, because they're really not high to me.
So you think they're...
I lived through the Obama era.
You think they're going to go any higher? Well, I know, but
$5
Trump's main thing was that the prices were going to go down, and now they're only going up and not going to go down to at least 2027.
He's getting
Temporarily?
ready to release.
Definitely not.
If you could pick one word to describe the state of the economy right now, what would that one word be?
All f***ed up.
all f***ed up.
That was a diehard Trump supporter here in Florida at this gas station.
Wait. This dude is a diehard Trump supporter. He's paying $4.29 a gallon, and his one word for the economy is all fucked up, bro, said the quiet part. Loud. This is the part that gets me every single time. These voters are feeling it in their wallets. They know something is wrong. They're not stupid. They just won't connect the dots yet. Trump said prices would come down. He said it would happen fast. He said energy would fix everything. And this guy's standing at a pump spending almost $5 a gallon still repping the brand. The loyalty is wild, but the pain is real. And that pain doesn't care what hat you're wearing.
After he filled up his tank at the price of $4.29 per gallon. Gas just one of the expenses that's skyrocketing as the war in Iran continues with no end in sight.
It's crazy, bro. Right now I'm paying $2,600 a month for my rent. You know what I mean? And that ain't no bills included. You know what I mean? Like, this is really, 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 really hard. My wife's about to be pregnant. She's due in about next week. And it is extremely difficult.
We spent all day asking Floridians to describe the state of the economy in just one word. The reviews are in. They're brutal. If you could pick one word to describe the state of today's economy, what would that word be?
A tragedy. Sad. Disappointing.
It's not the way it used to be. I don't know, man. It's like survival right now. Everybody on survival mood right now.
Desolate, yeah. It's bad.
Now, while some of President Trump's most ardent supporters say that they're willing to put up with these crazy high prices and are in support of this war in Iran,
we voted for him to be, like we say in Spanish, somebody with cojones, you know what I'm saying, with some balls to get in there and be daddy. Take the belt, put everything in action, because now you can see that we are respected across the world again, right?
Most of the people we spoke to say they wish President Trump was focusing on issues back here at home as they struggle to make ends meet.
I struggle every day, and now I'm taking care of my mom who's older, being denied simple things like breathing meds. So gas, what are you going to do? So I don't eat this week because I have to take mom to the doctor's tomorrow. And I'm not the only one. I know a lot of people in the same situation, homeless, no place to go, no shelters, no food, no medical.
He just said he's skipping eating this week so he can drive his mom to the doctor tomorrow. Let that sink in for a second. Skipping meals in America, in Florida, in 2025. And this is after voting for a guy who promised everything would be cheaper and better. Now he's choosing between gas and groceries while his mom gets denied breathing medication, breathing meds, not luxury stuff, not vacations, breathing. And the MAGA response to this is going to be, well, the economy takes time, or blame Biden. Nah, bro, you don't get to gaslight someone who can't afford to eat this week.
All of this as gas prices continue to rise as the war in Iran spills into its second month.
Guys, it's literally happening. I'm going to show you what somebody just posted, and I want you to guess who posted it. Pause to read. If you guessed Amy Kremer, you would be correct. But if you're like most people like me, who the hell is Amy Kremer? She is the founder of Women for America First. And she hosted through that organization the Stop the Steal rally in Washington, D.C. that culminated in the January 6th attack on the Capitol by Trump supporters. Prior to that, in 2016, she ran 2 political action committees to help get Donald Trump elected. And prior to 2016, she was high up in the Tea Party movement. And she just posted that. And if you don't understand how important this is, let me enlighten you. She's about as deep as somebody can get within the MAGA cult. Additionally, she is a leader and conspiracy pusher within the MAGA cult. She is a power broker within the MAGA movement, and she just posted that.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Amy Kremer, the woman who literally organized the Stop the Steal rally, who ran PACs to get Trump elected, who is as deep inside the MAGA machine as you can get, she just posted something that sounds like buyer's remorse. And people are acting surprised, sis, when the architects of the cult start having second thoughts. That's not a small thing. That's like the head chef at a restaurant saying, don't eat here. The rats don't leave a sinking ship for no reason. They leave because they can feel it going down. And if she's publicly posting that, imagine what she's saying in private.
There we go.
All right. Wow. Florida's wealthy are fleeing. Rising living costs are to blame. So Florida, normally high income earners, people retiring would move there because there's no income tax. And now they're seeing a record outflows as house prices have gone up, insurance costs have gone up, and property costs have eroded its appeal. Also, I did a post about people struggling in finances the most, and Florida and Texas are number 1 and number 2. They're having the hardest time paying their bills. They have the highest credit card delinquency, auto loan delinquency, and all kinds of things. So people in Florida and Texas are struggling. People are leaving Florida. Let me guess, they have a concentration camp there. They have a Republican governor. They have natural disasters. So just know that Floridians wealthy are fleeing. Also, Florida is a huge tourist attraction with all of the Disney World, all those parks, and they rely heavily on tourism. And as you know, tourism is down and international visitors are essentially boycotting the USA. So that would include states like mine, Las Vegas, Florida. So Florida is losing its...
Christina is out here dropping receipts and people need to pay attention. Florida and Texas, the 2 crown jewels of Republican governance, sitting at number 1 and 2 for financial struggle, highest credit card delinquency, highest auto loan delinquency, and the wealthy are literally packing up and leaving the state they moved to for tax benefits. When rich people start bouncing, that's your canary in the coal mine right there. And now international tourists are boycotting the whole country, so the tourism money dries up too. Florida is getting hit from every angle, and the governor is out here doing what exactly?
Appeal for wealthy, and I would say middle class likely, are going to stop moving there. If you like this post, my name's Christina. Hit the like, comment, follow, and share button for all things economic news and personal finance.
If you could describe the state of the American economy in one word, what would that one word be?
Right now, or right now? Honestly, this quick, I can only think of disaster.
Everything's gone up, and it's everything but my paycheck.
It definitely feels like nowadays it's more like pinching pennies than being able to save.
Groceries. What a great word. Grocery, 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 grocery. This lady who was a Republican was like, hey, Donald, are things going to change because I can barely afford my groceries? And I want to continue voting for the Republican Party. I want them to continue to win in 2026. This is what he said.
I do say this, beef we have to get down. I think of groceries. You know, it's an old-fashioned word, but it's a beautiful word.
Beef, we got to get it down. I think of groceries as an old-fashioned word, but it's a beautiful word.
But we've got prices way down. And think of this, energy. She drives a car, probably, and her energy prices are way down.
We've got prices way down, and energy prices are way down. And energy is so all-encompassing, it's so big that when energy goes down, everything goes down.
And energy is so all-encompassing, it's so big that when energy goes down, everything comes down.
Everything follows it, and I have energy down to 5-6 year lows now. Do you think prices are coming down from this?
I believe that, yeah. I think they're coming down, but I think they're down already.
I believe that, yeah. I think that they're coming down, but I think they're down already. They're down already. I think the biggest problem is
Republicans don't talk about it. They don't talk about the word affordability.
The Republicans aren't talking about it. They don't talk. They don't talk about the word affordability. They don't talk about it. And the Democrats lie about it.
And the Democrats lie about it.
They lie.
This lady is getting f***ed, and she still wants to hold on to the Republican Party, and she still believes in him. And this is the answer he gave. Literally like, I don't give a f***.
Grocery. Say it slowly. Grocery. Isn't that great? That's a great...
Bro, this man is telling Trump he can barely afford his groceries. He's begging him to help him. He still wants to vote Republican. He's giving him every chance. And his response is to make fun of the word grocery like it's some quirky old-timey term. Isn't that great? Grocer. My guy is performing a comedy bit while people skip meals. This is the most disconnected thing I've seen a president do since let them eat cake energy. And the crazy part is his supporters will defend this, they'll say. Like he was being charming. No, he was telling you exactly how much he cares about your grocery bill, which is zero.
Grocery.
That's what basically he's saying. I don't give a f*** about you.
We're about to be told that we can't afford anything.
Except when we look at what we are as a nation, lots of resources that we all collectively own, we know it not to be true.
Australians getting ripped off by gas companies has obviously struck a bit of a chord with punters, safe to say. Why do you think that this issue enrages people so much?
Because we're told, and the budget's about to drop, we're told every day, oh, we can't afford to invest in schools. Like, we can't afford to make our education like on par with some countries around the world that are just as wealthy. We have to cut costs here, cut funding there, cut different services that we rely on, our medical system's under strain. We have to cut stuff. We're about to hear that. We're about to hear that the global economy is going through a shock and we have to tighten our belts because something that happened overseas is making everything more expensive for us. And we're about to be told that we can't afford anything. Except when we look at what we are as a nation, lots of resources that we all collectively own, we know it not to be true. And like I said, like genuinely, I shouldn't be here. Punters politics exists because I spoke about this issue and regular Aussies went, yeah, this doesn't only pass the pub test, this is outrageous, and we've been sold out because we shouldn't have issues with what we can afford. We should be looking at how we can invest in future businesses, how we can supply basic medical and dental to sort of anyone who wants it. This is the kind of country, how wealthy we are. Aussies know it, I know it, we know it. So when politicians tell us, and they're about to tell us, that we can't afford it, we know it's a lie, and this gas issue is the perfect example of how it's a lie.
This economic position that we're in because of fuel prices and inflation, it's looking like we're going to see another 2 or 3 interest rates on top of what's already happened. So not quite the 4, it's looking at 5. There have even been some economists that have said another 4 interest rate rises. So it's looking like it's going to come up a fair bit. And it's very telling when we look at the bond market, we're already seeing that's already up significantly. So 3 is pretty well a shoe-in unless something significantly changes.
You motherfuckers! Y'all done raised fuel prices up! Fuel prices is up! I just got back into the business and y'all done raised the freaking fuel prices up! Y'all done raised the prices up $5 a gallon for fuel? Are y'all crazy? Are y'all crazy? What is going on? What is going on? I'm tired of this. I'm tired. I just got back into trucking and y'all done raised the fuel prices so high? Are y'all crazy? This shit don't make no sense. This don't make no fucking sense. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. And I'm going off for all of y'all. It's all of y'all fault. Dang! Like, y'all see this sign? This sign says $4.99 a gallon! This is what trucking has come to? Shit!
You know, talking about Republicans, I mean, they're willing to bite their own nose instead of making Democrats look good. Such is the case here in Florida, in which our insurance rates are spiking. And Florida Republicans kind of refuse to bring it up on the floor. Like, they have no real solution. And Jimmy Petronas, our CFO here from Florida, is admitting that the insurance rates is spiking, including his own, which it has gone up 50%. Now, it really felt like this last Florida session that there was really no bills to tackle this crisis. Now, what do you think Petronas says? I mean, he says that Florida has many blessings, and we don't have to be an actuary to know that when it comes to property insurance that we have his issues, that he loves Florida, but his own premiums have gone up. And this isn't a new issue despite of what you hear in the news. I think it's pretty new because for many years, I know that there was going to be an increase, but not freaking double, triple, or even quadruple the insurance rates, all within the span of 2 years. So yes, it's a new issue.
So insurance premiums in Florida doubled, tripled, even quadrupled in 2 years. And this is after DeSantis pushed through reforms that made it harder for homeowners to sue insurers. Let me translate that real quick. They removed your legal protection and called it reform. Then DeSantis refuses to pressure insurers for lower rates before storm season. These people are not just tone deaf, they are actively making it worse and smiling about it. The CFO admits his own premiums went up 50% and still won't push for real solutions. When the politicians inside the system are getting crushed too and still won't act, that tells you everything.
But what is Petronas really doing here? He's willing to advance historical and structural explanation for the pressures in the market. He says storms are part of Florida. And these storms are what it means to be a Floridian. He goes on to say that the insurance market was worse than it needed to be because we have bad laws that encourage and rewarded litigation. For sure, they're talking about the roofs again. Then Ron DeSantis came in and saved the day with monumental reforms. But what he's actually trying to say here is that Ron DeSantis put in legislation that makes it harder for consumers to sue insurance companies when they fail to pay. And if you want more indications that these Republicans are definitely tone deaf, well, this came out. Ron DeSantis won't press insurers for lower rates ahead of 2024 storm season. There you go. There you have it. They are saying they're not going to do anything. And he's going to hope that we don't have a terrible storm season. You guys have a blessed day.
I want to ask you also about the effect of Donald Trump's tariffs compounded on this huge rise in oil prices. Now, the Supreme Court ruled that most of these tariffs were unconstitutional, that the Constitution specifically says that only Congress has the ability to levy tariffs. But they did throw the administration a bone by allowing the Trump administration temporary emergency tariff powers. How damaging are these tariffs on the overall economy?
Well, they're not very, partly because tariffs, being a punitive mechanism, are a little bit like sanctions, another punitive mechanism. And the world has learned over the decades, in some cases over the century. Tariffs are very old. Countries have been tariffing one another for centuries. People have learned how to evade them, avoid them, negate them, undermine them, and all of that. There's a whole literature. When I teach courses, there's a whole segment where I give students books and articles about how to go about it. And they're just collections of empirical studies of how these things work. They do damage.
If Mark Carney wasn't a liar and he actually told you the truth about the economy, this is what it would sound like.
110,000 jobs lost, shrinking GDP, unemployment at 6.7%, food inflation at 6%, $1 trillion in investment is...
Okay, those numbers right there are what happens when you strip away the spin and just read the data. 110,000 jobs gone, GDP shrinking, unemployment pushing towards 7%, food inflation still climbing, $1 trillion in investment already bailed out of the country, and yet the talking heads on the right are out here saying the economy has never been better. This is what happens when you vote for vibes instead of policy. You get a bumper sticker economy. Sounds great on a hat. Feels terrible in your bank account? The scoreboard doesn't lie, and right now Florida is getting blown out in the fourth quarter.
Breaking news, 2 MAGAs get fact-checked by the produce manager. This is great. This just happened just about 20 minutes ago. I was shopping in a grocery store here in the Fort Lauderdale area that's well known for its fresh produce. And as I was shopping for my items, I saw these 2 MAGAs. There were 2 guys in their 50s. I'm wearing their MAGA hats. And they were all crowing about how Trump was going to make America great again and how Trump was going to bring down prices and cut inflation and all these type things. But then they were complaining in the store about the prices of the fresh produce. And so I guess one of the managers or the fresh produce manager, somebody walked by. And so one of the MAGAs says to the manager in the store that they can't wait until January 20th when Trump is going to lower the prices on goods because he all of a sudden becomes president. They think he magically can do this, just like Biden was the one who caused all the prices to go up just because he happened to be president. Complete untrue, but that's another story. And so the guy kind of looked at him and said, sir, what do you mean? And he said, I don't believe that's going to be correct. And the produce manager says something back. He says, you do know that Trump has proposed to increase tariffs on Mexico by 25%. And many of our fresh vegetables and fruits all come from Mexico. You're going to be paying higher prices, sir, under this tariff proposed by Trump if it goes through. Their prices won't go down because, and the guy goes, what? He said, Mexico's not going to pay for it. He says, no, sir, you're going to pay for it. We're going to pass those prices on to you because our importer is going to pass those prices on to us. You're going to pay more. And the two just looked at each other like they were in shock. These people are complete idiots. I mean, they are operating with burned out.
The produce manager just out-economics ed two MAGA guys in a grocery store. Dude works in produce, and he explained tariff pass-through better than most cable news anchors. Mexico doesn't pay the tariff. Your importer pays the tariff and passes it to the store. And the store passes it to you standing there in your MAGA hat wondering why avocados cost more. This is the thing that should make every Trump voter furious, not at us, at themselves, because the information was always out there. It wasn't hidden, it was just inconvenient. And now the guy restocking bell peppers is the one dropping the hardest and economic truth of 2025.
Light bulbs. Love to hear from everybody. Love to hear from your thoughts. Love to hear from my Democrats and my MAGAs, my crazies and my cuckoos. Y'all are definitely not going to get what you thought you voted for. And lower prices, if these tariffs go through, oh, you're dreaming. You're dreaming. Keep smoking whatever you're smoking. Not going to be true. And I'm sure you'll try to find a way to blame it on Biden, even though all the problems that we had under inflation under Biden all came from Trump under his collapsed economy, 15% unemployment because of the COVID pandemic and because of the pipeline shutdown, all because of Trump's poor handling of things. But you all can't connect the dots. Love it, love it, love it. You're going to love these prices if these tariffs go through. Thank you, Trump. Nothing like having an orange Jesus around.
All right, so what did we just watch? We watched real Floridians working 2 jobs, skipping meals, losing sleep over insurance bills and rent hikes, and the people they voted for responding with wordplay about grocer and refusing to act on the crisis sitting right in front of them. We watched a MAGA power broker start posting second thoughts. We watched wealthy residents flee the state they moved to for financial freedom, and we watched a produce manager explain tariffs better than the entire administration has. Here's the question I want you to answer in the comments below. At what point does the pain have to get bad enough before the people still defending these policies finally look in the mirror? Drop your answer below, and if this reaction hit different, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. We're just getting started.